I had been there for quite a while before I had earned any sort of trust. I was not allowed to talk about the fact that I photoshopped those images. Jeanette threatened me, if you ever tell anyone this is what we do, you'll be terminated. It was a big deal.
Daystar Television Network appears to operate with one unwavering priority: its own image. The Lamb family and the organization reportedly enforce strict control over every aspect of media operations, ensuring that their leaders are portrayed in the most polished, youthful, and idealized way possible. Instead of embracing authenticity, their focus seems solely on maintaining a flawless facade, regardless of what happens behind the scenes. According to reports, employees were not merely encouraged but outright required to edit photos, altering appearances to fit a manufactured image of perfection. This isn't about simple branding. This is about protecting the illusion of the network at all costs. Any exposure of these behind-the-scenes practices would, allegedly, result in severe consequences, creating an environment of fear and secrecy. Rather than prioritizing honesty or genuine connection with their audience, Daystar TV appears more concerned with preserving a carefully crafted image. The alleged secrecy surrounding their media department, combined with the reported threats of termination for anyone who exposes the truth, paints the picture of an organization driven not by faith, but by self-preservation. When a network that claims to spread Christian values seems more focused on its own image than on transparency or truth, it calls into question the sincerity of its mission. Daystar TV has been accused of taking extreme measures to control the public image of its leaders, prioritizing a flawless, youthful appearance at all costs.
As I photoshopped these images to make Joni look thinner, to make them all look younger, to whiten their teeth, to slim their waistlines, all these things. And I just remember thinking how silly it was, because the person in this image was 25, 30 years younger.
Reports suggest that employees were not just encouraged, but outright ordered to edit photos, ensuring leaders looked younger and more polished. While image enhancement is common in entertainment, the idea that a religious organization, one that preaches honesty and integrity, would enforce such deceptive tactics raises serious ethical concerns. What's more alarming is how far Daystar allegedly goes to protect this illusion. Instead of treating photo editing as a minor branding decision, it has reportedly become a strict mandate, where employees fear the very real threat of termination if they fail to comply or expose the practice. Former employees have spoken out about how the media department operates behind locked doors.
I had been there for quite a while before I had earned any sort of trust to do some of the more secretive things that they did. And so, for example, the marketing department was behind closed doors. You had to have a key to get into it. It was locked. And I never understood that. Why is it behind locked doors? Until one day, Jeanette came to me and said, I'm entrusting you with photoshopping the latest Lamb family photo shoot. And I was like, what do you mean? And she said, well, we have a very carefully crafted image of the family. And so the photos have to be retouched in a very specific way. So behind a locked door, with her standing over my shoulder, she supervised me as I photoshopped these images to make Joni look thinner, to make them all look younger, to whiten their teeth, to slim their waistlines, all these things. And I just remember thinking how silly it was, because the person in this image was 25, 30 years younger than in real life. It was so silly. And I felt like I worked for the Secret Service or something. Like, I was not allowed to talk about the fact that I photoshopped those images. Jeanette threatened me, if you ever tell anyone this is what we do, you'll be terminated. It was a big deal.
Reinforcing the culture of secrecy and control. The alleged warning that anyone caught revealing the truth would be immediately fired paints a grim picture of the organization's priorities, one where appearances matter more than transparency or fairness. The irony of a Christian network enforcing image deception while preaching authenticity is glaring. If these claims hold true, Daystar's leadership seems more focused on maintaining an illusion of perfection than fostering genuine connections with its audience. The consequences of such practices fear-driven work environments, manipulated public perception, and the suppression of truth are troubling, especially for an organization built on faith and trust. The implications of such image manipulation extend beyond aesthetics. It raises questions about the values being promoted by the organization. If leaders are deliberately altering their appearances to maintain a certain image, it can create unrealistic expectations for viewers and followers. In faith-based communities where honesty and integrity are highly valued, such practices can be seen as deceptive. Another major concern is the level of confidentiality maintained within Daystar TV's media department. Reports indicate that certain areas were restricted, and employees were required to follow strict policies regarding internal operations. While confidentiality is necessary in some cases, such as protecting sensitive information, excessive secrecy can lead to a lack of accountability. Former employees have spoken out about the consequences of violating these confidentiality rules. Some claim that revealing internal practices could result in termination or other disciplinary actions. This creates an environment where employees may feel pressured to remain silent, even if they witness unethical behavior. Whistleblowers play a crucial role in exposing unethical practices within organizations. In the case of Daystar TV, former employees have reportedly shared their experiences regarding the strict policies enforced by the Lamb family. These accounts provide insight into the inner workings of the organization and the challenges faced by those who choose to speak out. The consequences of whistleblowing can be severe. Employees who reveal internal practices may face retaliation, including job loss and reputational damage. This discourages others from coming forward, allowing questionable practices to continue unchecked. In faith-based organizations, where leaders are expected to uphold moral standards, such retaliation can be particularly damaging. Religious institutions are held to high ethical standards due to their role in guiding and in, "Hey, this is Faith Unfiltered. If you'd like to support this channel and help spread these videos to more people, please consider hitting that subscribe button. I truly appreciate you watching until the end. Stick around. This next video might be just what you're looking for."